All right, so here we are at Outdoor Retailer Snow Show 2020. This is pretty much the biggest outdoor show in the US for the latest and greatest products for winter. And right now we're going to talk about the coolest snowboarding products that we've seen. I got into snowboarding in my 20s, and I think getting into it a little late gives me a sort of childlike sense of wonder about it. So I still get super excited about all the new products. We're going to start off here with the latest version of 32's Jones MTB boot. I was actually just splitboarding up Berthoud Pass outside Denver yesterday, and I sincerely wished that I had this boot because unlike most snowboard boots, this boot is specifically designed for backcountry splitboarding usage. There's a few features I want to show you. First of all, you have a full gaiter here that comes off. But this is going to protect your laces no matter what kind of conditions you're in, keep them from getting wet in the snow. So if you're going on a multi-day trip, your boots won't be frozen. That zips all the way off down to here, by the way. We've also got a hard bottom with this little hook here, which makes these boots, unlike just about every other snowboard boot, able to accept crampons. So if you're doing some like hardcore ice climbing or like alpine stuff, get into some really difficult locations, you can throw crampons on this thing and climb up a wall. Last but not least, my favorite feature, which I wish I had yesterday, is this boot, like some ski boots, has a walk mode. It's basically gusseted here, and it just opens up this whole section of the back of the boot. So if you're climbing uphill, your leg can actually flex a little bit, and you can get those nice long strides that you want when you're splitboarding up a mountain. I'm super stoked about this thing. It'll be coming out next winter for $650. Next up, we have the Zeal Beacon Goggle. This is brand new, and I think the most notable feature of this goggle, you can hopefully see if I turn my head to the side, is that there's actually a 10% slant here, and the idea behind that is that when you're looking down the mountain, your whole field of view is opened up by this slant. It's actually inspired by the design of air control towers, and the idea is basically that you want to be able to spot your line when you're going downhill, and this goggle's specifically angled to allow you to do that. Another nice thing about this goggle is that it's actually at a very nice price point. So this starts at $129, which is incredibly reasonable for a goggle that also has this nice little bonus feature. Plus it looks pretty cool, doesn't it? Now, let's go thermonuclear. It's the Oakley Thermonuclear Protection Collection. For longtime fans of Oakley, you may remember in the 90s when they were doing a bunch of this thermonuclear protection stuff, and people were like, wait, what does that mean? Is this going to protect me from a nuclear blast? It doesn't, as far as we know. However, it does have explosive colors. So there's a bunch of pieces in this collection. This isn't the exact same stuff that they had in the 90s, but it's sort of an updated 2020 version. So even though this looks like a throwback thing that you would see in a terrain park in like 1995, it still has all the modern features, like you got your pit zips, the two-way zips here. It's got a DWR coating, so it's going to be pretty waterproof, water resistant. So you've got a lot of those like modern touches. It just happens to have this like old school style. One of my favorites is the mitten with the trigger finger. It always comes in handy if you want to like, you know, do one of those. But all this stuff is like super rad. I mean, I think it's just amazing how much the colors really pop. And like, personally, this does take me back to an earlier time. And who doesn't like a little nostalgia? And while we're talking about Oakley, I do want to thank the brand very much for giving us this space to update you on all the new products. Almost everything we were talking about will be shot here. There may be one segment a little later somewhere else. You'll see. So for our next product, we're very lucky to get a chance to talk to the force behind it. I am here with Jeremy Jones, he's a big mountain snowboarding legend. He's an activist, the founder of Protect Our Winters. He's a filmmaker, and he's the man behind the eponymous Jones Snowboards, here to talk with us about the new Stratos.
Yeah, so really excited about this board. At Jones, we love tinkering around with different things and always testing stuff. And this one in particular, we really just went off on this journey with no end and put a bunch of camber with a bunch of spoon, proper freestyle tail, and stumbled into a really snappy, futuristic board.
Awesome. So when will this board be available? When can people get a hold of it?
So this will be in snowboard shops around the world starting next fall, and you can find it online at select online retailers. We'll have it on the Jones site as well. Check it out, and hope to see you on the mountain with it.
Awesome, sweet. Now it's time to wax environmental. We're going to talk about something that you probably don't think about too much on the mountain: ski wax. What a lot of people don't know is that almost all ski waxes are petroleum based, and basically when you're out on the mountain snowboarding or skiing, that wax is slowly coming off and it's going directly into the snowpack. When that snow melts, it goes right into our waterways. Last year, 2.5 million pounds of it went into the waterways in the US alone. Thankfully, a new brand called Mountain Flow is making Eco Wax. This is entirely plant-based wax, pretty much the same price point that you're gonna get with your traditional wax. And I was riding with a bunch of guys who had their skis waxed up on it just yesterday, and they all said just performed just as well. So what's really exciting about this is that I think this is honestly gonna take over the industry. Killington Mountain has already signed up to use this wax exclusively on all the skis and boards that they rent, which is like 5,000 skis that they're waxing every single day. So if this starts to catch on at resorts, it's gonna be awesome. But on a personal level, you still have some awesome products. So this particular wax is the rub-on wax. You can literally do this like standing in the lift line. You just need a little extra flow. And then they also make an iron-on wax. And they make these in multiple temperature grades. So depending what kind of conditions you're riding or skiing in, you've got what you need. I honestly cannot think of one good reason why you wouldn't make the switch to this immediately. Unless you hate the planet and you want us all to just, die soon. So anyway, I'm a big fan of this stuff. Keep an eye out for it. It's available now. Prices start around, I think, $14. All right, next item I'm super excited about is Sweet Protection's Looper helmet. I got a chance to try this out on the slopes here in Colorado just a couple days ago, and no joke, I had a moment of panic where I thought that I forgot my helmet. That's how well this thing fit and how light it is. What's really special about this helmet, in my opinion, is the fact that it is super light and has like a nice skate style to it, but at the same time, it has a couple awesome technical features. One thing I really like is that there's this rim here that they call the goggle garage, and essentially with most goggles there's a section where the foam kind of raises up above the lens, and it gives you that goggle gap that you really don't want to have when you're riding around on a mountain. And this little section here basically accommodates for that piece of foam. Second thing that's super cool about this helmet is that despite the fact that it's just like super light and low maintenance, it still has MIPS, which is the multi-directional impact protection system. We've been seeing this on more and more helmets lately, and basically if you look in here, this little yellow piece is what allows for you to fall on the mountain, bounce a couple times and kind of roll over, and your protection, your inner liner will slide a little bit, which distributes the impact so you're not just getting that smashing effect on your head over and over again. I know that's not something most people want to think about. You don't have to think about it with this helmet because it's pretty seamlessly integrated into it. Another cool thing about this helmet is the fact that Sweet Protection is based in Norway, and I got to meet one of the designers when I was testing the helmet. Super Norwegian dude, very cool. Told me a lot of things I didn't mention in this video because they're very technical, but suffice it to say that with Sweet Protection's background making racing helmets, no matter what helmet you get, it's gonna protect you on a mountain. This helmet is coming out next winter at a very nice price point of $160.